Walking up the steps, a chromatic runs. Kate, you take so long. Okay, pawns. Give me what I ask. You're gonna speak. Speak to me.
Do excuse me, Professor. Professor.
What is it?
You wouldn't know where the Forest Sauvignon...
Why do you think there are Sauvignon plants here?
I read about it in a book at the library.
Try going to see the station master.
It's actually he who sent me to you.
Indeed.
I thought it a little strange, but he definitely said ask the paleontologist. You're the only one here, aren't you?
Yes, indeed. What a strange way to behave. Well, I think he must have made a mistake. That's all. Nobody tells me anything.
I really don't think so.
Ask the rectors. After all, they are in charge of the university.
All right, thanks. I'll leave you in peace.
Sorry?
What insanity, running back and forth for a berry. But everyone here is so convinced they know nothing. I don't believe any of it. I think they all know something. And they're gonna tell me what it is right now. Now, give me what I seek.
Gentlemen, forgive me for...
A little bear-cat? No.
Okay, you say the same things over and over.
Are you sure there are no Amazon Sauvignon plants in Barlstadt? Because I have just interviewed the station master and the paleontologist, and what they said really didn't convince me that there wasn't any here.
We are quite definite on this point. There are no Sauvignon plants growing in Barlstadt. You see, miss, the Amazon Forest Sauvignon is a rare shrub that requires very special conditions for growth.
Like the conditions
That's right.
of growth
the
here.
Conditions that are very hard to reproduce, believe you me.
And you would know.
But not impossible. Fortunately, our garden has proved very successful.
Well,
Your garden?
there you go.
So, there is a garden in Barlstadt?
Oh, the garden. Well, if there was one, it would be only a little garden hidden behind the station.
Hmm?
But our station master would be very proud of it.
Oh?
He would take very good care of it, too.
You're talking-
Everything would grow marvelously if we were able to cultivate it at all, and it would be all down to his gardening prowess.
And we would be proud as punch. And we wouldn't forget the role the paleontologist might play in this.
What's the paleontologist got to do with it all?
Without him and without his laboratory, how would we make the wine, do you think?
And it would be good wine indeed, my dear colleagues, would it not? Oh, yes, a delightful balm to soothe away our long hours of toil and our heavy responsibilities.
Yikes.
We would wait impatiently every year for the arrival of the year's produce.
So, if I have understood you correctly, there are indeed Sauvignon plants in Barlstadt. They are cultivated in a garden behind the station, then turned into wine by the paleontologist's loving care. And finally, the pleasure of tasting is yours. If I'm not very much mistaken, gentlemen, you have a minor racket operating here.
There you go.
Miss, you do go jumping to some hasty conclusions.
No.
We never said that. That's not what we said.
You said it through all your hypotheticals.
We were talking in the conditional. You know, with ifs and woulds.
So, what would happen if I had such a hunch?
You would have to keep it to yourself, of course.
Yes, if you would be so kind as to keep it a secret. It would only be a small local concern, producing barely a few Bibles every year.
That's right. Nothing so grandiose as a business. Otherwise, we'd be liable to be fined. So, we can't count on your discretion, can't we?
Don't worry, I have no intention at all of getting messed up in anything.
Actually,
here we are.
And thank
That guy sitting in the middle, whenever he talks, it sounds a lot like a different character. I think it's the guy from the Valadilan Hotel? So it must just be the same voice actor. I've never really noticed that before. Does the professor have something to say about this? Now that they've revealed to me their secrets? You know everything and you lied to me.
you, Professor.
What is it?
Now talk to me.
I have just had a very interesting little discussion with the rectors. It seems that you are perfectly aware of the existence of Sauvignon plants here in Barrackstadt. Apparently, you find them very tasty.
Not at all. I never drink wine. I prefer to make it. Production to me is much more satisfying.
So you don't deny.
Why, seeing as the rectors have let you into our little secret, I even converted part of the laboratory into a fermenting room for Amazon Sauvignon wine production.
Wow.
Of course, I cannot produce wine in large quantities. We have to be discreet. After all,
And what about your students? Haven't they noticed anything?
There are no students, really.
you know how students are. After all, a chemical reaction is still a chemical reaction, even when grapes are involved. And malolactic fermentation takes time. Sometimes strange odors begin to waft through the corridors. Then I just burn a little sulfur.
Wow.
Incredible. Totally incredible. You are really something, Professor Pond.
I'm not sure whether I should take that as a compliment.
I'm not either. Does
It wasn't
he...
really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess.
Ah, indeed.
Actually, I'm here because...
Oh,
no.
thank you.
I'm...
I
Okay, I don't really know what they're talking about, but whatever.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg.
I think he knows.
He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory.
Syberia.
Said what?
You mentioned a name.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg.
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him?
Aha.
Such an extraordinary fellow. So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion. Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard like Hans.
Ooh.
At the time, we
That's
were both
harsh.
students. Well, sort of. Put it this way. Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. You see, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications. In exchange, Hans did a few odd jobs around the university.
Your Hans Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for.
I'm not sure, my dear. Hans was above all questions of money and business. Just to imagine him running a factory, perish the thought.
Wow.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much. He never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
A doll, you say?
Well, we have one, don't we?
He kept talking about it.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there was only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mammoth, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Syberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me. Even today, it is beyond my comprehension.
Well, we got there somehow.
Have you considered that Hans Vorarlberg was maybe making it up? You said yourself he didn't seem to have all his mental facilities intact.
No, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent a story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Syberia legend. He described it to me in exact detail. Syberia itself is a chimera that paleontologists of the world are very fond of pursuing.
Okay.
I'll leave you in peace.
Sorry?
Right. So we have to give him that doll that we found, that Hans found originally. Something about it fascinated him. But he didn't say anything about seeing it. He only had heard about it. So... okay. So we have a few leads going on. We need to find an egg or something to open the bandstand and fix it to get the money, to tow the train, to wind it up, to leave. But I think we also have to get the berry. And along with the berry, there is something else I'm missing. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Excuse me.
Can't you see? I am. Hurt.
Okay.
You have been playing with me, haven't you? You knew very well there were forest Sauvignon berries in the station garden.
Not at all. I have never seen your Sauvignon feathers.
You don't have to lie to me. I know all about it. You and the rectors are in cahoots, and the professor's lab has been turned into a distillery. You've all got a nice little smuggling racket on the side.
Smuggling racket? Hey, lady, you're going a bit far there. Just a little on the side thing we got going. That's all. Is just for ourselves. Take it honest.
You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah.
Aren't you worried about the reputation of this fine university? The authorities should be informed of this.
Should be.
But we haven't done anything wrong. It's not a crime.
Can you open the gate to the garden, please?
Sure. No problemo. Right with it.
Huh. Now that we know the truth, he seems all talk. Okay, I'll save one more time, get the berries, and I think I might have to leave this session there for now. I'll split it into 2 parts. 2 big parts for myself, which I will edit into several parts, but this part really likes to freeze, so hopefully it doesn't. There he is.
There you are. Please feel free to visit the garden at your leisure. And there was one thing I got her higher, not really just bumps the word. There is the reputation of the university to think about. I have superiors who have to do what I can.
Is that an apology?
I understand. Don't you worry.
Thank you, miss.
Yeah, it seems that way. What a strange situation. Oh, look at this. It's quite pretty out here, too. Admittedly, not as pretty. I mean, it seems a little bland, but in its own respect. All these birch trees. And now... do we need any more? Nah.
I don't need that for the time being.
Nah, we got what we need from that. So, we now have Sauvignon grapes. I love the clouds here. Okay. So with that, I think I'll save yet again. And that might be the end of the session. So, yeah. We got some things to do, but I should finish in the next session. So, have yourselves a fine day. See you later.